All right, we're going. We're live. We are live.
I always have trouble thinking of how we start these,
Yeah.
but I feel like when we naturally just kind of bullshit it, I feel like something good comes up. But I don't think I feel that
I
energy
don't know.
today.
You know what? Let's just scrap this whole crazy idea. This whole silly idea.
For those that don't know, I think we were playing racing games one day, and I was just like, let's do a podcast. We used to do video game gameplay videos, I guess you would call it, and
Way
I would
back in the
upload
day.
way back when we were in high school. We're way older now, and we would upload these consistently, and I think I was getting like pretty decent views on them. And then just one day, I guess I just stopped. It was too much effort, or I don't know what it was. So now
I think
we're
you
trying
got
to
a.
do it with this.
I know why you stopped. You got a girlfriend,
Actually,
and now you're engaged to that girl.
yeah, that might be it.
Yeah. No, that's what it was. If
Yeah,
you can look at the
actually,
timeline, it's like 2016, 2017 hit done.
completely done.
Oh
That's
shit,
funny.
no, it was like 2012, 2013. My
Yeah, I
years
was
are
gonna
off.
say I
Yeah.
started dating her in 2013,
Yeah.
so it's been a minute.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
sure
well,
your last day was the time you actually started kissing girls.
yeah.
I was like, forget this gay stuff. I'm a man
um,
now.
and and hopefully we can hit it off because I guess if I would have continued with it, I probably would have been YouTube famous. But now
Oh
we
yeah,
got to
you
reset.
you would have been the next Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast, do you think I would
Yeah.
have given away all my money?
Yeah, you would have been Mr. Beast spending $10,000 on people to buy shitty items.
I feel like I'd be Ninja. I'd be screaming because they got the color of my hair wrong on Fortnite on the skin, and I would keep all the $10 million to myself.
Be screaming at 12-year-olds.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Turkey GP, Turkish GP is the official hashtag. What do you think? I enjoyed it. It wasn't the most exciting, but I guess it was good.
No, it was really, I mean, started on intermediates, finished on intermediates. You're not going to see a lot of crazy speeds, a lot of crazy racing. They don't turn DRS on in the rain either.
I did
So it was
notice
just
that.
kind of like it was a solid race. There was a lot of people who moved up in positions. There was a couple of bumps and bruises along the way, but everything kind of worked. Nothing crazy happened, which is okay. Not every race you need somebody bursting into flames or,
Yeah.
jumping on top of another car.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that was the description of this, right? It was just a very fair race. It wasn't just some craziness going on.
I mean, it was good. I always love a Bottas win. We predicted it. We called it out. Double podium for Red Bull with their new livery.
I was so excited when it was happening. When Perez was overtaking, I don't remember who it was at the time. It might have been Hamilton or Leclerc.
It was
It was
Leclerc.
insane. Yeah, it was insane because I was like, wait, Red Bull, double podium, let's go.
Yeah, Leclerc opted not to change his tires, and I mean, he just could not keep up with the pace.
He got screwed, yeah.
Yeah.
Ferrari's strategy has just been so awful. I think they did give him the chance, though. They were like, hey, what do you want to do? I know that in the radio they asked him one time. They were like, "Do you think you can keep it up on these things?" And then the famous sentence came up where he was like, "Where am I if I don't pit?" And they're like, "P1 if you keep Bottas behind." And like I think like a couple laps later, he got super passed by Bottas, and
Yeah.
then
They
clearly
said P
started losing
P2
pace.
if you don't pit. No, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, he ended up P4 though, very consistent for Leclerc. A lot of the top 10 finishes were actually people that are kind of always there in the top 10.
It was a very typical race. I mean, especially in the rain on intermediates, like it just shows performance-wise, better cars, better drivers.
Yeah, and speaking of good drivers, Bottas held that win super nicely.
Hell
I
yeah.
think I think he drove like Hamilton in the sense that everything was very flawless. I think he only had one mistake, and even then, it wasn't anything that drastically affected his race.
That's 10th win too. 10th win
10th,
for Bottas.
10th win, and it was on the most Bottas thing. I keep reading this on the internet, is that he won on World Porridge Day. The reason that's funny is because I think there was like an interview of him, and they were like, "What do you eat for breakfast?" And like he just made a big deal about porridge, and people were just like, "What the hell? Who the hell eats porridge?" So
He
nice
said,
that he
"Yeah,
got the win on the day.
I'm a porridge eater. Suck it up." Oh man, but this win, well, I wouldn't say win. This P2, P3 for Red Bull pushes them closer to the constructor standings and pushes Verstappen even farther into the points.
Yeah, yeah. So
He's
Verstappen is now ahead in the championship, which is really awesome. He's at 262 and a half. Lewis Hamilton at 256 and a half.
so he could take a couple more P2s with Hamilton going P1 and still be in the lead, giving him a nice little gap. Cannot make crazy mistakes, but doesn't have to, s- slam into Hamilton
I
in
think
order to keep
that
the
that win
race good.
from the win from the last race was really crucial because Max wasn't supposed to finish in a podium and he ended up getting a second place, and so now he's cruising comfortably up. And so
Hmm.
just like you said, he's probably not going to have to do win every single race as long as Hamilton is right there next to him. Constructors wise, Mercedes is at 433 and a half, and Red Bull is at 497 and a half. So that also closed up. I remember before this race, I was kind of thinking like, man, this is looking kind of far apart for a constructors win.
They've got a long ways to go. I don't think the constructors wise is going to happen. Bottas and Hamilton are just too consistent. And next race, Hamilton's definitely going to try top three for qualifying. As
Yeah.
long as the weather's good in the U.S. of A., he's gonna cruise to an easy top three finish.
Imagine if we get to witness a like weird winner on that one, like someone that maybe hasn't won something, like a Ferrari driver or something like that. That'll just be an insane race.
Oh no, for next race, I'm calling Kimi Räikkönen all the way through.
Hey, he
You
did win in
laugh, but I'm
2018.
I'm calling Kimi Räikkönen. Like this man knows this track.
Yeah.
But back to the Turkey race. I mean, it was to watch. It kind of lulled me to sleep at some points. I mean, it was interesting, especially midway through lap 30, 60, 39, with Perez and Hamilton holding it off, going side by side, and Perez just sneaking back. But Max, you know, he had a solid race. Didn't really have too much competition. Just
Yeah, he was
stayed
he
in
was kind
front.
of in his own little world. He was too far back from Bottas, but he was way ahead of either Perez, Leclerc, or Hamilton.
Yeah.
There was like that battle going on.
Yeah, no, I mean there was not much to say about it. He ran a clean race.
Hmm.
It was solid. He couldn't keep up with Bottas. They had good pits, like so did Mercedes. It kind of just came down to the fact that they were driving intermediates. I think the car setup for Mercedes handled a lot better on this track than Red Bull did, at least in terms of top three wise. But from a driver's standing, hats off to Bottas. Verstappen had a great race, easily clearing out into the number one driver standings. I'm excited. I love when they keep it close. I do enjoy that nothing crazy happened because there's what
Mm.
6 races left to determine the winner.
Yeah, yeah. I would prefer it not to see the top people take each other out.
Yeah. No, I mean I'm hoping next race in the United States is going to be good, and then Mexico's right after that. And I mean it could just be a back and forth for driver standings.
Yeah. On when Perez was battling Hamilton, did you see how kind of close they got to each other?
Oh yeah.
They were super close,
And
on the limit.
Hamilton gave him space because he was like he might come out this turn really wide.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why he gave him space when they first went into that turn together. I think he realized, wait, if Sergio ends up over binning this, he's gonna end up crashing into me, and it's over.
Oh yeah. Which he could do. Perez is a very aggressive driver, and he did not give up that spot easily. He wasn't going to give him any space. I'm sure on the radio they were like, "Don't let Hamilton pass because he's
Yeah,
going to get a lot of speed
yeah,
really fast."
yeah,
But it was fun to watch, especially they had that beautiful helicopter shot of them going side by side into those turns, and it just looks so good.
we had someone that doesn't watch Formula One watching it with us, and he said they looked like they were going super slow. Which I give them credit because it did look like they were going super slow. But I'm sure if we had a different camera angle, we'd see that they took that turn at like 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour.
Well, I've watched a YouTube video about it. The bigger cars make it seem like they're going slower.
Hmm.
Like the bigger the car, the perception wise, especially from a distance, it's really hard to tell how fast they're going. But yeah, they're taking their turns in the rain at 70, 80 miles an hour,
Yeah.
which you
Any.
try and do that in your Ford Focus and you're calling a wrecker.
Yep. You're gonna aquaplane somewhere
Yeah.
and
My
then end up on your
four-cylinder
head.
Nissan will not handle that. But these guys do it, 90-degree turns like it's nothing, staying on the track with a lot of grip. And
Well,
that water blasting sure did help. You really
yeah.
didn't see any people spinning out crazy wise just on their own.
Yeah. Yeah, and right now you just mentioned that they stayed on the track. When Perez was fighting Hamilton, he actually went off the track, but there was a rule specifically put in place for this track that says that out of bounds, as long as it didn't look intentional, was okay.
Yeah, I mean, he got pushed out, plain and simple. You watch that, I mean, if he tried to stay inside the track limits, there would have been an accident. And he didn't really do anything too crazy. I mean, as soon as he saw pit lane, the blue stripes coming up, he got out of the way and got back
Yeah.
into the race. But yeah, no, good no call racing incident. I'm glad they didn't give anybody another 5 seconds. Well, besides the initial, what was that, turn one spin?
Yeah, so Alonso actually was knocked out by Gasly. Perez, Gasly, and Alonso went three wide into the first turn. Since that chicane kind of closes up, like you were saying earlier, it closed up. Gasly was on the outside, pushed out Alonso. They tapped. Alonso spun out. I don't think he ended up in last place, but he ended up pretty far back, which was pretty
Hmm.
unfortunate because he qualified really well.
It was pretty interesting to see. All they did was like barely touch tires, and those big ass Formula One cars, they look so awkward when they
Yeah.
spin. He
Yeah.
did a very clean 360 though. He
Yeah.
got
No,
right back into it.
he came back right into it. It could have been a lot worse for him, I think. So, well, I guess I don't know. It doesn't get much worse than going from P6 to P17 and not even finishing in the points.
No, it sucks, but at the end of the day, I mean, do you think he was gonna get top 10?
Yeah, I think he would have stayed. I think he easily would have stayed somewhere in maybe like a 7, 8, 6.
No, I don't think
Well,
so.
I think we should agree to disagree because Alonso's still really good. I think he's going after his third world championship, and I think he's going to get it next year.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Maybe not with this team, but I believe it.
Yeah, if they drop Perez
Yeah.
and get the other Spanish guy.
Oh man, but yeah, overall, really, it was a satisfying race.
Yeah,
Unless you're a Hamilton fan, it was a very satisfying race to watch because everything kind of came into place. The only thing wasn't satisfying was McLaren.
Mm.
McLaren just could not figure it out.
So I think they made a really good. Well, they could have made a really good call. Ricardo was complaining about his tires. I think around lap 20. So
Hmm.
and this was about the time that people should have been pitting around lap 20. And so they pitted him because they asked him, "Can you go faster?" And he's like, "On new tires." He's like, "Absolutely." He got new tires. He was actually going slower. Um, but because he pitted so early, eventually when everyone else's tires degraded a bit, he ended up just passing a bunch of people that ended up pitting. And
Yeah.
so he at one point he was P11, but I guess because he pitted so early, they kind of started to wear out towards the end again, and he ended up falling back, I think, to like P14 or P13.
Yeah, it was a good showing by Alfa Romeo. I mean, solid.
Yeah,
Obviously not in the points, which is
11,
where they want
12.
to be, but I mean, from what they've been doing this whole year, that's solid. I
That's a
mean,
very
that's like
solid, yeah.
you can't be disappointed by that.
If anything would have happened in the front, they would have been there to pick it up.
What you can be disappointed by is Tsunoda. Yuki,
Mm.
why does he start off well and just he cannot keep up? He started P9 and he just cannot keep up with the rest of them.
So I'm gonna disagree with you big time there. He held up Hamilton for so many laps, and I think this is the reason why Hamilton didn't make so much progress because he was literally they were neck and neck for I don't know I don't think it was like many laps, but it was definitely around 5 laps that they were just kind of going at it neck and neck. And I think for a rookie to be going up the 7-time world champion, I think that was pretty impressive. But like you say, he had a rookie error, spun out, cost him the race, out of the points. He ended up in P14.
Do you think that if Sonoda didn't hold him up, Hamilton would be top three right now?
I think so because he held him up really well. I remember, like I read the comments on the highlight video and people were just like, "What the hell? Why'd you guys leave out Sonoda?" Like that was really cool because, he ended up passing Hamilton, ended up passing a good chunk of people at the start, like
Hmm.
within the first lap. But then he was held up by Sonoda for a couple of laps. He ended up passing Pierre Gasly like almost immediately. Everyone else ahead of him immediately, except for Perez, obviously. But um, it was I don't know. I think to hold up someone like that in a much faster car, I think that says that his talent is there. He's just a rookie. He needs a little more time.
I guess we'll see, man. With the 2022 cars and a lot of things changing rules wise and performance wise, unfortunately, I don't have high hopes for Sonoda. I think, yeah, of course, they're all solid racers. Anybody that gets on that racetrack besides Mazepin is a fantastic racer.
Yeah,
But car wise, performance wise, there'd have to be a crazy change for Sonoda to start getting into the points consistently.
yeah, yeah. And someone that did surprise was Ocon. He actually didn't pit. I don't remember where he started, but because he didn't pit, and his wheels were completely gone at the end. Like they show his cars parked, huge hole in his wheel. So they didn't have much life in them or any life in them. But because he didn't pit, he ended up getting into the points P10.
Yeah, I think if he pitted, he probably still would have been a solid P10 because you just lose so much time. But yeah, that was the first time that somebody has not pitted in a whole race since 1997 in France.
Good lord.
I mean, that's a lot. That's like a really bold strategy
Yeah,
when no teams have done it in over 2 decades.
yeah,
And he's just like, yeah, you know what? Let's go long. You know what? Let's keep going.
yeah.
Let's
No
go the
stop.
whole race.
And the reason usually I think for the rules, the rule is that you have to use two sets of tires. But I think once you get into wet conditions, that's out the window and you can use that one set because they don't expect it to last that long. So they're like most teams are going to change anyways. But yeah, I mean
I know
that's
the
nuts.
intermediates last a while,
Yeah, did you
but
see that by the end of it, like all of the teams, they were talking about it. Lando Norris was talking about it. He said that because it was like half of it was worn out and half of it still had that grip, it was like having a hybrid, like a slick and an intermediate. So on the dry patches, it would take off, but then on the wet parts, it was like holding up really well.
yeah.
So that's
I
really
mean, that's
interesting.
a well-designed tire. That's exactly what an intermediate should be, especially after it's worn down a little bit.
Yeah.
But hey, hats off to everybody. No DNFs. No did not finishes. Did not finish. I don't know. I don't speak this language, man. I just know this is the 12th time in Formula One history that there was not a single DNF, and that's
Yeah.
two this year
In the wet
in
as
the
well.
wet. Yeah,
In the wet. So it wasn't even just like a dry race where like, things are almost guaranteed. It was pretty nuts.
I can't believe we had two wet Turkish Grand Prix back to back. One of them was insane, and this one was like, yeah, everybody's pretty reasonable about it. Nobody went
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah.
But man, I wouldn't say it was the funnest one to watch. I love the track. I wish it'll come back next year. I don't know
Yeah.
if it will, but if it does, God willing, it's in a good condition and it's in dry weather because they go so fast on this track in dry weather.
Yeah.
There's just
Yeah, they
so much more room to speed.
they said that if Canada keeps up with their bullshit or if there's another country that keeps up with their bullshit, China, if they keep up with it, they say they're just going to go ahead and just replace it with Turkey because they've already had like several cancellations several years in a
Hmm.
row. And they're like, "You know what? If you don't want to host a race, that's fine. We're going to find another track to do it."
I
And I
don't
think
think
Turkey would be great.
I don't know why they do it in China. I don't know why they do it in all these Middle Eastern countries either. But who cares, right? The FIA doesn't care about human rights.
Mm. We need to make a video about how people think that um, only rights are violated in the Middle East because I think the U.S. has got something to say about that.
Oh, of course, rights are violated everywhere, but people cry about American police when in reality it's not that bad. But you know, you could if you go work in Qatar as an immigrant, you're gonna get worked to death for $4 US a week. So it sucks to suck everywhere, but I don't agree with the FIA allowing these huge multi-billion dollar companies to make these giant things in the Middle East on these
They
flat tracks.
they've said that Qatar, I think not the one, the Saudi Arabian one for this year, which is like scheduled in a few weeks, is not done yet. So I'm like, how the hell are they gonna pull that off?
Oh, they'll do it. You know they will. They'll put the money down. What's scary is on those new tracks though, especially ones that haven't been raced on, is they can be either really slippery or way too like they can destroy tires.
Hmm.
You know, they're not worn in enough to have a good race. So it could be if they come out and they've only had a few races on those tracks, it's like it could be really bad. They could be chewing up tires.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go through. It's gonna be a four-stop strategy.
Yeah. Five stop, six stop.
Nice. Okay, well, I guess we get the 2 week break, and we're going to Austin in 2 weeks.
And we'll be there. We'll be there. We'll get some live video. We might do it vlog style where we're gonna get some video, gonna get us just getting ready for the race. We're gonna do the whole Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're gonna watch the women's race as well. And we got really nice seats. What turn is it on? 15?
Turn 15. I
Yeah.
don't know the section, but we're in the lower levels.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful setup. It's like you see the straightaway, they do a big arcing curve into a 90-degree left, and then boom, another straightaway. So we're
Lots of
gonna get to
overtakes
hear.
happen there.
Yeah. We're gonna get to hear a lot of downshifts, a lot of upshifts, a lot of these cars
Oof,
going nuts.
yes.
That's what I'm most excited for is to hear these engines in real life because it's one thing, you know, hearing it on the cameras and on TV, but hearing it in real life, hearing those up and down shifts and the pops and just the reverberation in the engine, it's gonna be awesome.
For sure.
I'm
And I guess
excited.
until then, we'll see y'all then.